What's up, everybody? This is Zircon. Today, this is the fourth stream that I've been working on this new progressive, melodic breakbeat track. I've been very excited about this one. I wish I had gotten the chance to stream the last couple of weeks, but due to some family obligations and work stuff, I just didn't have the time. But I might even be able to finish it today. We'll see. If nothing else, I think the arrangement will be done today. So where I had left off, I'm going to play from the second part of the chorus into this breakdown section. Hey, Joe Chip 504. Thank you. It is good to be back. Yeah, so this breakdown section here is where I had actually left off the other day, but the issue was I lost some of my progress, which was unfortunate to say the least. But I think I remember what I was doing. So basically, what I wanted to do in this part, we have the halftime drums. And then I have another sort of glitchy drum part here, which is being cut in and out. I have a mute for that somewhere. Here we go, bit kit volume. So that's kind of coming in and out. And next what I wanted to do is I had some chord stabs. And what I wanted to try doing was actually maybe putting this on a piano and then doing some kind of glitch effects with it to get it sounding really cool. Let's find my piano sound. That's the hard part. It's finding anything in this project. Ah, come on. I know it's here somewhere. There we go. I'm actually going to start naming these things. Make my life easier. So this should be called Pearl. Pearl is the name of the sample library. Okay. All right, so got our chords right here. So that's the sort of the basic structure of what those chords are. And then, so yeah, me naming stuff, that would break something. Yeah, I guess that's kind of a bad habit, huh? Okay, so what I want to do is take all the effects that have gone into this piano. So we got an EQ, delay, reverb, and then we're going to take all that and put a effect on top of it. And specifically what I want to do is we'll use retrigger for everything, and the way for me to test this that's odd. Is that, oh, there we go. So that's the idea, but what I want to do is start it fast and then move the rate change, speed change here, move it down. So I could either use this knob, or I'm a little hesitant to automate this. I feel like it might crash FL. So let me try it without that first. So you can see the sort of the general effect I'm going for there is taking the piano, and we get a little bit of grains, and then it gets kind of stretched out over the course of the note. So let me look now at the song playback to see where it is so we can start these triggers on the right beat. Okay, for some reason that slot must have automation on it, because that kept turning off. So let's take another look and see where the triggering is happening. Oh, link to controller. Huh. Don't know why that's happening. What controller? FM8 mix level? Oh, I had kind of a shimmery delay on this at one point. Okay, yeah, get rid of that. And initialize this all the way up. Okay. So I think maybe starting it short and then actually lengthening the notes would be cool. So I'll take this, create an automation clip for the length of the retrigger. Let's see, I'm a little worried about the stability here, so bear with me. And actually, I guess what we want to do is actually start with this all the way down and then turn it up, because we don't want to mess with the previous section in terms of the piano. So I'll have this come up here and go back down over here. Yeah, so again, that's the idea. Now to kind of manipulate this, make it sound really good. I think starting it faster and then making the speed change a little bit slower to start with, that would be the first thing I would do. And then what I kind of want to do is like fade that out into just a pure delay afterwards. The way I'll do that is probably delay effect. Seems like the simplest way to go. And we'll make this all the way wet. And then this is going to be another automated thing. So it'll start off being totally unautomated. So it'll be like this. So something like that, so we get it to kind of fade out nicely. Okay, so a couple things here. First of all, still feels a little too slow. And then tweak the envelopes a little bit, get it sound really nice. I think having a lot of feedback, turning down the volume of the delay, and making this short could sound good too. No, maybe a reverb would be better. It's not quite having that spacey feel that I'm looking for. Reverb's a pretty safe bet. So do I really like these in the room defined patches. So we'll go with a huge full orchestral hall and turn the dry all the way down, and then this will get automated up. Shut up. Shut up, antivirus. Okay. So we're going to play with that a little bit more, get that sounding really nice. But so this is the general idea. You see what I'm doing here is kind of manipulating the glitches, the retriggering, and mixing it with the more natural sounds instead of just having the glitch on all the time. I want to kind of play with it, reverse it around a little bit. Yeah, so I think it's sounding better, and I want to also intersperse this with other chord elements, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that soon. I'm thinking of actually having like a synth pad that's moving gradually, something like where the filter is opening and closing, but then taking that and chopping it up and moving the different parts around. Also, Jorth, what's up? Glad to see that you can make it. And yeah, this is a little bit different. I'm streaming this, you might be watching the recording, but I'm streaming this on a Tuesday instead of a Saturday. Ideally, I would like to do every Tuesday and every Saturday. We'll see if schedule permits. So there's a question from where did I get most of my fans from? I think a lot of them came from OC Remix, that's part of it. And then just over time, I think Pandora was, you know, a big part of it. I have a lot of music on Pandora. If you go to my website, zirconmusic.com, it has information on how to actually get the music, but Pandora is like a big source. And now Spotify is actually pretty big too. So those things, I know some musicians don't like them, but I actually think that the streaming stuff, streaming radio, that's really good for me anyway. H at the end of Jort is silent. Okay, good to know. So I want this first one to come in a little more gradually. Sounding pretty good to me so far, so yeah. This one you can't hear too well. Let's see. Okay, yeah, this is a little bit better. Oh, thank you, Cretaceous. Piece keeps getting more amazing. I'm glad you think so. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it. Definitely having fun. Do I ever have any issues with Glitch 1? Yes. Last stream I had some crashes, or at least one. I lose track sometimes. I think the fact that it's 32-bit means that it's going to be a little bit rougher in terms of stability. So you got to keep that in mind. I try to run everything 64-bit native. Got some different instruments here. Playing around with the idea of maybe putting other textures in here, moving textures. Maybe not that. I'm thinking probably more like stabs. Yeah, Glitch version 2, I'm definitely interested in that. I will check it out at some point. Maybe that kind of sequence type sound. Let me write that out and see how that sounds. Is FL better than Ableton? Really, it's all workflow. That's it. Tons of people use Ableton, tons use FL. It's whatever you think is best for you. I think what the rhythm for this should be. Maybe a synth like this, taking that and morphing it over time, possibly. I think bringing it in the second half makes more sense, for sure. And then obviously not just repeating it, but doing something new with it. So let's see, what do we got? When I do sequencing like this, what I'm doing, I'm kind of trying to think of what the sequence might sound like and pick pitches that make sense with each other, that are in the scale and the chord and what I'm going for. It's a little bit tricky. Something like this. I think that makes sense. So I think having this go to here, we'll tweak this here, and then it kind of jumps up an octave and it does this pattern. Yeah. So Zupwashon, you're asking, where do I get inspiration for the titles of my tracks, like Standpipe Valve? Honestly, track titles are difficult. Sometimes if there's something I was thinking about when I was doing the track, or if I had like an image in mind. So an example of that would be Across the Ocean. When I did that track, Jill was overseas in China, and she was there for 2 weeks. So I was, a little lonely, as you can imagine. Jill's my wife, for those that don't know. And so I was kind of writing the song, but keeping it sort of happy. It was in the summer, just to sort of go with that feeling of, even though somebody's far away, you'll see them soon kind of thing, and like just enjoying life, enjoying the summer and all that. So that was that song. But then something like Standpipe Valve, sometimes I'll see something funny or something that strikes me as being interesting. Standpipe Valve, there was a parking garage in college that I always passed, and there was just a giant sign that said Standpipe Valve, which, was something in plumbing. It's like, Standpipe Valve. I don't know. It's just sort of like an oddball title, and I kind of like that. Other songs, if it has lyrics, it usually comes from the lyrics. But sometimes it's whatever I had in mind. Other times it's just something I saw, or I found it interesting or unique, and I said, why name the song that? Why not? So, all right. I'm going to go back. I'm going to work on this sequencing here, which is going to go with this new part. Working on this a little bit. Duplicate it and make some tweaks as well. Hey Ludwig, what's going on? Thanks for joining me. So some of those notes might change. But let me just hear the rest of it in context. Some wrong notes. Gotta adjust that. The second time is different. So taking it from 72. transitions well because it rises in pitch there. Cool. Okay, so that's good enough. I can adjust that more over time. Let me get back to this section because I still think this could use a little something else, some kind of pad maybe that's going in and out. Bazugu was asking, do I ever use humanizing functions on MIDI tracks? Yeah, but usually only for stuff like drums. For not an electronic track, I'll do like swing or drummer templates. Humanizing being taking very strict MIDI data that's going to the grid and then making it adjust the timing so it's not quite so perfect. I like the sound. I don't know where else I'm using this. So, you to spare, I'm just going to duplicate it. Why not? Yeah, I think having this is good. I'll need to do some automation of it and so forth. Give it a little bit more of a release there. I want to give it sort of this nice clustered chord, so it sounds very kind of dreamy. The purpose of these chords here, these instruments, I kind of like the idea of these waves of sound kind of coming in and out in this part. So we've got the drums, we've got the big heavy drums, which are up here. So that's going on, but then we also have the big crush kit. See the automation? And then of course we have the piano sound too. So all these elements together, I think that's the sort of the feel I want. I don't want it to sound disjointed, but rather it's like something kind of ebbs in and the other element kind of comes out, almost like the tides. synth. Just curious if that how it sounds. You know what? For this, I'm gonna merge the patterns so that I can easily kind of edit them all at once. So we'll take everything from this synth, go ahead and move it to the other synth. Make life a little bit easier. So I have the reverb turned way up on the piano in this part. So gotta make sure I turn it back down. Yeah, thank you for the kind words on the mixing and mastering, everybody. I appreciate that. Yeah, but when it comes to doing the production stuff, it's like, I really don't want to sound pretentious with this, but I look at it a little bit like sculpting. So you have the thing that you're trying to get, and with sculpture, it's not that you're really adding to it, it's that you have your raw material and you're sort of chipping away at it. And to me, something like, a kick drum in the mix, that's, it started out with just this press work, a simple dynamics processor. And then I figured, I needed it to have a little bit more edge to get it to stand out more. So I added a wave shaper. But then after that, I felt like the low frequencies, low mid, were getting overbearing, and that the wave shaper added just a bit too much high end. So I adjusted it with the EQ. So that's sort of the thought process. It's like the kick was there from the start. In a way, you have to. I sort of have to look at it at different points in the track. Like maybe 3 hours later, there's more stuff around the kick, and so it needs to be kind of sculpted and crafted a little bit more to get it to mesh and fit in. So the wave shaper is it's basically a distortion effect. You can do a lot with it. I don't want to mess up my settings here, so let me create a new one. You can create it essentially multiplies the input signal by wave shapes. So something like this is going to give a pretty raw, edgy sound, very high frequency content kind of stuff. This class B distortion, so this is going to be not too bad. And sort of the more points you have, see here, this they call this fuzzy saturator. So the more sort of spikes in it, the more the waveform is going to get. It's sort of distortion, but it's not just making it louder. It's sort of doing different things at different frequencies. And you have the ability to control the input gain here, the mix, which is very helpful. So you can have a pretty extreme effect, but then dial down the mix so you have just a little bit of it. And then you can oversample, which is cool. The oversampling kind of helps you retain some of the very, very high frequency content and reduce the amount of aliasing, unpleasant artifacts that you have. Okay, so. This synth here, I feel like that, maybe we'll automate that too. Chords here. Maybe take this and do some of these on the new instrument I had created, this one. So I wonder if if the saw stab is a little too harsh here. Let me see what it sounds like without that. A little bit more balanced that way. I just turned it down. Breakdown part I feel pretty good about. I'll play it as it is now. Probably not going to be a lot of stuff here. I do want to do vocals in it. So that I really like. I think there's not a huge amount that needs to be done here. Hopefully I'll be able to get Jill on this, get into her schedule. I think having a sort of a soaring vocal line would be very good here. But in the absence of that, I think I want to do like a placeholder just in case, something that's a little bit more, not just a synth, just to get a better idea of how it could cut through the mix. And I was thinking maybe like an atmospheric electric guitar could actually work pretty well there. I've heard that sort of thing in trance music before, and I think it sounds good. So I'm going to just do that, and then this is subject to replacement, of course. But yeah, let's get this in there. Okay, I'll do low CPU. Okay. Of course, that's not going to sound good without any effects, so that's the next step. Problem is, like, you can't the placeholder synth, it just doesn't, you can't really hear too much of it. So this is going to be a multi-step process here. Once again, actually, maybe instead of Arts Acoustic this time, let me do like, this sounds pretty good. Turn off the gate, and again, this is just going to be something to cut through a little bit more so I can sort of hear how it would sound. The human voice, you don't want to do it with a sample, like vocal samples are usually really bad. So you almost need something that's that has a lot of those high, bright harmonics, and the guitar actually does do the job pretty well. to get that sort of hollowed out effect in the background of the vocal placeholder. Also, man, it's really hot in here today. It's the problem with working in a greenhouse. It's like, it's very hot. Very, very hot, very quickly. Yeah, let's try that preset that was recommended in God's Love. So just for the purposes of this, turn off mute. Probably just copy this exactly. Let's see how it sounds. Something a little more cutting. Okay, so something else I want to do is to better emulate the sort of the slides that I would want the vocals to do. Let's take a look. Do a little bit of sequencing. So I'd want this to be like a jump, a vocal jump here. Like that. So this might be a little tricky. So let's see, without vibrato. So, you know, it sounds, it's closer to what the voice would actually do, and it's brighter and it cuts through a little bit more, so let me just record the vibrato on this. FL and automation just doesn't always play along too well. Got to get that pitch bend back in there. So let's see, I can probably just copy the pitch data here. Events and piano roll. Yeah. Okay, I'll check the chat in a second. Let me just, I'm trying to finish this while I have it sort of going in my head here. 1,200 cents. Can I just copy that data? I feel like sometimes when I copy automation data, it doesn't copy in the right spot. Oh, it did. Okay, let's try that. Cool. Okay, yeah, so a little closer probably to what again, the type of the sound that I had in mind. Yeah, this is a programmed guitar, and yeah, listen to this one more time. Balance. Oops. Okay, great. Reset the pitch data at the beginning of the track. It's very important. In fact, just for fun, just to get it sounding a little bit better, I'm going to do a few sort of release slides. Check this out. That's the wrong instrument. I knew that. I think actually these slides are a little fast. Oh, that's because damn it. Right, I loaded the patch where you can't change the slide speed, so let me reload the patch, and we'll do that again. Actually, also for this particular track, I think I need a darker guitar. So let me go with the original shreddage. Yes, really replace. Okay, I'll get it, don't worry. Form, speed, a little slower. Still loading the transition performances here, so. Be a little faster than that. It's a delicate balance, right? Okay, one more time. Check this out. So just to get a little bit more, again, sort of how I would want it to be performed vocally. And I think for this, I actually want ending slide. It sounds so good. Yeah, that sounds a little bit better. The tone is darker. Yeah, I mean, I could leave it as a guitar. I'd want to have it performed if I were going to do that. Okay, so let's check this one more time in context, and then I feel like this section, I have enough. It's done enough that I can, see where it would go from here. The snare going a little sooner, so I want this part. This needs more of a transition, actually. So what I want to do is sort of pitch something that's hitting on the downbeats, like that. So I'm going to create that from scratch using Zebra. Let's see, best way to do it. Start with an initialize patch. I'll leave it on saw for now. I mean, I don't know if it's going to stay like that, but I said leave it on saw. What happened? Oh, it's like a wavetail. Okay, never mind. something, we'll see how it sounds in context. We're going to put some reverb on this. Possibly, it could go in the other direction. I really want to get that transition sounding like very epic. And this will be mixed down a little bit relative to the other elements, but... Okay, so a few things subject to change here, but it would be... Gotta do a short note. Something like this. We'll see how it sounds. Yeah, I like that. There's a couple issues with that. The curve on the way the pitch moves on the curve is not good. And you also can't really hear these lower notes too much. So let me get this a little closer together. Maybe start on here. Maybe more like that. And I think this is the beat, the way it's hitting on the beat. I'm going to mute some other stuff here and just put on the metronome. I think that when I had it on the downbeat, it sounded like it was actually not on the downbeat. So maybe I do need to hear it in context. Let me do like one. We'll do a few elements at a time to kind of hear how it sounds. That sounds okay. A little extra hype. That could be massaged a little bit later, get it sound even better. So, okay, the last part of the track, this is where I sort of left off, and I wanted to do more with this, so, uh-oh. Okay, it saved that time. I don't know the difference. Okay. Yeah, so, I mean, right now that's basically what was earlier in the track, and it sounds good here, but obviously coming from a lot of the stuff previously, I want this to be more than what I had before. Let me just check my text messages. Why am I got a notification, watch Titanfall 2 PS4 Slim leaks on GameSpot. I don't care. Why am I getting notifications on my phone for that? Technology, man, it's weird. Okay. Let's see. Maybe having a different solo here in this part of the track. Where is my solo synth from before? Ah, yes, that's Super Audio Cart there. How could I forget? Okay. What do you think? Maybe starting with some kind of a synth solo there, and then going into the melody, embellish the melody a little bit more. A, it's hard to do this on stream. B, I have like a 30-second delay on a 30-millisecond delay on my keyboard, just making it hard. So forgive the bad playing. Just gonna play around with some ideas here for a minute and see what I come up with. Apologize in advance. All right. Man, I'm hitting the note on the beat and it's coming in like 30 milliseconds later. I want to do some cool runs like that, which are basically impossible to play in live. So you know what? I'm not going to try. Not easy to do, especially when you are not a good live synth piano player. You're gonna get the sense of what I'm going for here, right? I mean, cool soaring synth solo, which I don't know. I just like that stuff. Sounds good. I also want to do some pitch and modulation stuff like da 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 boo, like that. Pitch bends up and down, but can't do that yet. Gotta get the notes down. the sound? I don't know. Yeah, okay. That puts a smile on my face. Okay, yeah. If you're gonna do synth stuff, in my opinion, you go all out and you have fun with it. Okay, so this would be the first few bars of this. Alright, yeah. It still needs a little work. This is like how the sausage gets made. I know it's maybe not the most interesting thing in the world, but hope you're enjoying it nonetheless. Okay, yeah, this part, it's like I have it in my head. It's not quite what I wanted. I think it's this part actually. Yeah, it's more like this, right? Oh, so have I ever had a go at making music similar to Carpenter Brute? 80s style synth. Well, I've done a couple tracks like that in the like 2 tracks, not in that exact style, but I did a space synth track. So if you look on Google for Solar Revolution, and then I've done some 80s style stuff like on the Returnal Robot soundtrack. I did Training Montage. I love that style. Damn it. Getting text messages from people. Yeah, so I actually think it's a really cool style. I was listening to Perturbator, if that's how you pronounce it, and I really like it. It's good stuff, so I'd love to do more. It's like I have an idea in my head of where I want this to go, but sequencing has to be very precise. It's a little bit of a pain, but I got this. I got this. What time is it? Look at my phone. 5 o'clock. Okay, we're good. Also, sometimes it's helpful to think about where you want it to end, like the last few notes. Yeah, something like a cool arpeggio there at the end for sure. Never gonna get, never gonna. Okay, I wasn't trying to do that. All right, so where do I want to go here? Synth solo writing. Exposed. Whoa, okay, sorry. Okay, so some things to change here, but I think I got down what I want the shape of the last 4 to be. Let's check that out. could do these even faster, and I think it would still sound good. Let me see. How much faster? Before I continue that, go back, play it one more time. Thanks for the kind words, everybody. I'm glad that you like how it's sounding so far. How am I coming up with these notes? It's really kind of hard to describe. Sometimes I have an idea of where I want the sort of the emotional notes, I guess you could call it, the ones that are, for example, so this is D major. And something that's emotional might be a note that's higher in the melody, like, so like that high note. So I might have an idea, like I want that to be on a certain beat. But alternatively, it could be a note that's actually not in the chord, what they call like a passing tone. So again, if we're in D, or D major, so it could be like, or like, so sometimes I know what, like I'll have a sense of what I want there to be, but then for the intermediate notes, man, I don't know, I've just done it so many times. I guess it's, sometimes I think to myself, okay, I want it to sort of fall here. I want it to, you know, go down in pitch and end up at this note. And how it does that, usually it's playing notes in the chords. So like in F sharp minor. So I know that I can play, you know, but then some, you know, I don't just want to do the same notes over and over. So sometimes, you know, I'll do something like, except faster, or change the note length. So instead of, it'll be, or, so it's a lot of like shapes and almost like key notes, like key notes and where I want the notes to go. And then it's tweaking and experimentation to figure out like specifically what goes in between. Okay, let's check that out. Try is adding another harmony to the melody when it comes back. So this is going to take some experimentation, but I want to bring it, you know, this should be strong, it should be layered. So Red Tail 8 is asking about musical background and degree. I don't talk about it a lot. I'm not entirely self-taught. I do, so I took piano lessons for years, which I think that's helpful, but most of that was before I ever started producing music at all. I took some music theory in college. I had to take 1 year of music theory in school and then a year of ear training. So ear training would be like, stuff like, what interval is that? It's a fourth. And learning things like that, to me, was helpful because I could listen to music, and then when somebody did something like this, I could understand, I could identify what those intervals were, what the chords are. So doing that in school is helpful, but I don't have a music composition or performance degree, so I'm not. There are people that, you know, if they go to Berkeley, my degree is in more of a mixed music business and law. So a lot of the production stuff, that's like pretty much all self-taught. But the theory stuff, you know, having the piano background, helpful. Some theory and ear training classes, definitely helpful. So again, just here, just doing harmonies for the melody. I actually already have another square wave synth here. So I might play around with what the different elements are in this part, so that I can go from the solo and sort of transition into this. In fact, and try using this synth instead of that other one. I need vibrato and pitch stuff. So So the way this is set up right now, the vibrato is just coming in automatically, which is actually not what I want. I want this to be linked to mod wheel. And I want it to be faster than this. Like that. So I'm going to record the mod wheel for this. Let's go ahead and set that up. Oop, I'm missing a couple notes here. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, it's a pretty good basis for what I want that to sound like in terms of vibrato. You can see the automation data that I recorded in on my keyboard is right here. And I want to do some pitch stuff, but I'll get to that. Cool. Okay. Yeah. So this is good. Good. So for example, I'm going to experiment here with the pitch bend. So we get the nice, I don't know, I think it sounds better to have that kind of stuff in there. Probably want to record this in, well, I'll sequence it. Because why not? Channel pitch. So here we go. So you have to find the right pitch range to sequence in. Extend this window a little bit. So right up here is the limit. Make that a little bit faster. Da-da-boo. I don't know how this is going to sound. I apologize in advance. Oops. So I kind of want to go like boo-doo-boo and get that nice pitch drop afterwards. And then I'm going to do a lot of the same automation stuff for the harmony synth too. Okay. Here we go. Damn it. Gotta reset the pitch. Can't forget to do that. I was going for, right there. Okay, same thing here. I get that nice pitch drop. Okay, yeah. Okay. Also adjusting the modulation data too. So that sounds good. That's good stuff. Okay. Duplicate this to, I know it's not the most efficient use of memory. I'm up to 8 gigabytes of memory used here, but that's okay. I got 32. So it just don't matter to me. All right. I'm gonna switch this harmony synth. Same deal. I'm gonna give it manual vibrato. So CC1, vibrato amount, very good. And I think probably the easiest thing to do would be to copy over the automation data. So generators, oh God, I have so many. Maybe that's not the easiest thing to do. Okay, let's try this. Okay, now that I recorded just enough modulation data there. So that's contact 5 number 6 as opposed to contact 5 number 5. Can I copy just the automation data? No, that would be too. Oh, actually, if I did it as an automation clip, maybe that would be better. Contact 5 number 4. Wow, I have a lot of stuff in this project. All kind of, there we go. 5 number 6, yes. So what I want to do is modulation wheel, link the controller. Internal controller, we'll do contact 5 number 5, CC1. Whew, okay. Make that a bit faster there. So in terms of running, there's a question about multiple instances of contact versus multiple MIDI channels. So if I were planning better, this is like strict, this is bad laziness, like really bad. I didn't set up MIDI channels for these contacts, so rather than create MIDI outs and have them appear all the way down here, I just decided to clone the instance. There's actually not a big performance hit by doing that, and some people think, Although some people think, although I haven't really seen any proof to this, that it's actually more CPU efficient to have multiple instances, so less memory efficient, but more CPU efficient, because it can thread each contact instance on a different computer core. So, you know, whatever that's worth. Okay, so it's pretty good, but I feel like it, maybe I should actually use a different lead in the second part, or something that cuts through a bit more, because I don't want it to take away from this lead. I want there to be even more, like kind of increase and just get bigger and better. So just thinking about this. I can work on that a little bit more later. So what I want to do here is end on this, and we'll fade them out. Actually, maybe not even have the synths for that part, that last note. What would it sound like then? So, and then instead of having this bass, or actually I'll keep it as that, but then I could low pass it more as I end the track. So like, so that way you get to hear the chords and everything a little bit more at the end, sort of come full circle. Like, let's put a crash there, so. I really like this piano sound. Right, so have that for this part of the track. so I want to bring back some of the bass to them in this last part. So what I want to do here is maybe close the plucks cutoff more. I feel like I did that somewhere. Silence 1, channel volume, MIDI channel. Oh, filter cutoff. Here we go. So yeah, for this last part, first of all, that threw me off. Okay, here we go. Like that, just a little bit of a swell. Something like that. Oh, I have to fix that in the intro, I just realized. Okay, and then I want to copy over, there's a nice big quake strike over here. For the sake of consistency, I also like the idea of taking elements from earlier in the song and kind of finishing that full circle. Like this. So something like that for the ending of the track, and that can be fleshed out more as well, but it's sufficient, I think. Okay, so let's check out, there's a, this part needed help, so this is in the intro. couple things I wanted to do here. I actually think this synth is not as appropriate for this part. For those. I just want to fill in, the arpeggio kind of cuts out a little bit too much for my taste, so what I want to do is create an automation clip for a delay, and then bring this in sharply until the next time that it comes in. And then put something here. This was like always a work in progress. So I didn't want that the sequence bass to have as much brightness when it first comes in. So instead, the brightness will ramp up a little bit over the course of the beginning. Thank you for the kind words, and have a good night. Adjusting the piano EQ a little bit, you know. Yeah, all right. So this is pretty good. Okay, now let me hear it from the breakdown part again. The problem is I have empty patterns sometimes throughout my projects, and I forget to delete them, and that's what happens. Okay. Guitar there again, it's a placeholder because I thought it sounded better than just a synth. I think it sounds cool. Yeah, the guitar sound, for those that missed it earlier, is, again, I'm using it as a placeholder for vocal part, but maybe I'll get a live musician to just play this. This is Shreddage 2, which is a library I created. Pretty good. Sure had one. Tips for a new music creator, asked by Legend of Hope. Start organizing your projects now. Yeah, otherwise you turn out like me and you don't organize your stuff very well. It's like a complete mess. It's really bad, actually. I mean, the only reason that I can look at this at all and understand, have some idea of what's going on is because I wrote it, and I can see visually like this is some kind of melody, this is some kind of pad. But when I'm looking at drums, it's useless. I'm looking at these patterns. I know they're drum patterns, but I don't know what's in them. In all seriousness, though, advice for a new music creator, I do think that just making music is the most important thing. So not worrying about, do you have the best plugins, is it the most original melody, are you using the best DAW? When I started out, the kind of stuff I was using was very simple software. It took me over a year to even understand how to use FL enough to do anything like, not even close to this, but I used a lot of very simple software. In fact, I had this program that a friend of mine got in 2003, and he brought it over, and it basically had stuff like this in it. So all my early music was putting together loops like that and just editing the notes. But I had fun with it. I did like 10 tracks that way. And I think if I had spent my time trying to learn all this all at once, learn how to use Serum and do EQ automation, I just would have given up. I wouldn't have had fun with it. So the first most important thing is just to have fun and don't worry too much about doing stuff the right way. Yes, you want to try to stay organized and you do want to learn over time, but don't let that prevent you from making music. The second thing that I'd recommend is definitely finding tools that you like and sticking with them. That's really important. So in my case, once I found FL, I stuck with it. I am not nearly as fast in anything else, Logic, Cubase, Reason, Ableton. I've tried them. They're great, but I found FL and I'm sticking with it. So that enables you to get faster. And the same goes for samples and plugins and things like that. So you'll see the plugins I'm using here. I've got Contact, Zebra, Serum. So these are pretty popular tools. And I've been using them for a while. So I understand how they work. If I were to look at my entire list of plugins, so things I don't use that I own, or don't use as much. So things like AMTB30X, I don't really use that too much. Diva, I have it, but I don't really use it a great deal. Harmless and Harmor, I know that Harmor is a great synth. I got it for free because I work with the ImageLine people, but I don't spend my time trying to learn it. So if I tried to use all these synths that I have, actually I have much more than this that I haven't installed, I wouldn't be able to really get good with stuff like Zebra and Serum. So my second big piece of advice is find tools that work for you and then just learn how to use them. So that's what I would start with for advice. Okay, so it's almost 6 o'clock. I think that this is done arrangement-wise. There's production work to do throughout, a little bit of mix tweaking and everything. I'm going to go ahead and play it from the start. Let's just listen, and then I'll mute my mic so you can hear everything. And thanks for watching. After this, I'll say my goodbyes and all that. So let's check it out. Okay, so that's where I'm at with this track. Feeling pretty good. Again, mostly tweaks, polish, detail work. Nothing super exciting. I don't think I'm going to be deleting a whole section and restarting it anytime soon, but overall, pretty pleased with it. Let's check in also on the total project time, because I get asked this a lot. All right, it's 11 hours of work on this track. Sounds about right. I think I gave an estimate to somebody that it takes me on average like 12 to 15-ish hours, and I'd say that's holding true here. Now, if I get vocals, those are going to take longer because the amount of vocal mixing you have to do can be pretty time consuming. Stitix, thank you for, the bacon donut being the referral. That's awesome. He's a great guy. Really happy that he used my music for so long. So thanks for the kind words. Thanks for watching. Again, the goal is to do this again this Saturday at 4 p.m. And just as like quick notes for people, if you don't kind of know, for example, where to see previous streams, if you go on YouTube, youtube.com/ZirconST. Let me see here. What do we got? Okay. Yeah, so this is my channel. So you can see I've got my last few live streams here. I do other tutorials on sample libraries, music software. Also, other original music. I've got quite a few videos on here. If you go to zirconstudios.bandcamp.com, you can pick up all of my music that I've released so far, just about all of it. You can also get it on iTunes, Amazon, Spotify, all that good stuff. And if you go to zirconmusic.com, it's my website, you can pick up, you can read the license if you want to use my music on your own stream, twitch.tv, etc. Listen to stuff I've done for video games, so some of this is not for sale, but you can hear some of the things I've done there. And then also I've got this thing called Zircon Vault, which is basically my entire catalog of music that I've done so far, plus a lot of like unused things I did for games, short tracks, things that wouldn't really make sense on an album, but I just put them in here. So yeah, so check all that stuff out if you're not familiar. This will be going up, this video, probably in the next 2 days, 2 to 3 days at most. And that's it. All right, so enjoy the rest of your night or day, whatever it might be, depending on where you live. And see you next time. Thanks for watching.